Ronnie Olson, Shady Spring. Coach Ronnie, first of all, I'm sure the thing everyone wants to talk about, the Braden start. 19 in the first quarter, 29 at the half, 33 for the game. A smart basketball player becomes a facilitator when things change, and he did. Just talk about the game and really Braden.
He was the star tonight. Big game. Your best players play the best games, and he could have. That bucket was probably the size of a freaking a trash bin, and he was. And what's crazy is about the whole thing, he was kind of giving what the defense was giving him. He'd go back door if they pressed up. He would curl. He would do a lot of things, and golly, we got in tons of foul trouble there to start. We had 2-3 starters out, and the bench behind Braden led us to be able to build a 9-point lead against a good team. That was really a lot, but Braden was star power tonight, and as long as he does that, gave what the defense gave him, and I'm proud of him for that, because 33 is tough to get against a team like that.
If you knew they shot 50%, that team coming in here, you probably wouldn't think that your chances were too good.
Did they shoot 50%?
50%. Yeah. I'm sure you say you could still win,
yeah.
But
I don't say this often, but I felt like our advantage was on the offensive end, and I knew they're tough out. There's not many teams in the state that play like them. They have tons of guards. They all can shoot it, so you have to really stay attached to them. They're really disciplined on offense, and I knew we'd be able to score more than we would usually. So as a coach, you look at your advantage, and I tell you where we really got our advantage, and we thought coming in we could get them on the glass. And I think we out-rebounded them by a ton on the offensive boards, and I thought the guys really took advantage of that, getting second half points, and that's why we kind of doubled them up in field goal percentage or field goals.
Jared said a lot of those shots that Braden made, they had a hand in his face.
Yeah.
He didn't think they did a terrible job. He's able to get it open, obviously, and he showed that tonight. But he said we had a hand in his face a lot. Second half, he becomes a facilitator. It seemed like they collapsed a little bit and didn't let him drive as much, penetrate. What's that say about his IQ as a basketball player? He goes from some guys might be hot and they want to stay that way. He didn't even really take that many shots.
No, he didn't, and I think that's when Braden does that, we're a better team. Braden truly took what the defense gave him, and like you said, they started kind of keying on him a little bit. Amar, we kind of went to Amar there. We felt like we had a mismatch with Amar. He did a good job of taking what the defense gave him too. He scored 14 in the third quarter, so Braden could have honestly been selfish. And he could have been selfish and took more shots and tried to get 40, but he didn't. He wanted to get the win and get our team better, and he facilitated. And that speaks volumes for how his IQ and the type of basketball player he is, because he don't care about his stats. He does. Right. Any player likes to get points. That's natural human instinct. If you're a competitor, you want to get buckets. You want to get points. You want to have a stat line. If you don't, then something's wrong. I did. The kids do. We talk about that. But within the confines of what we do as a team is when it really matters. And I think that showed great for Braden tonight.
He, he was hitting all those shots and came down on a kind of a break, almost a run out, stopped at the 3-point line, took the three, he checked. And I don't think anybody in the world would have blamed me for doing it because he was so hot. But
I'm a player's coach. That's something, and I know people think I'm so demanding, but my guys know if you're going to give me everything, I'm going to give you everything. And that's a shot he just hit. He just had 20 points in a quarter. The kid, the kid's gonna. I would have done the same thing. Anybody on the floor would have done the same thing. But guess what? He didn't do it after that. He didn't do it after that. He took he went back door. Braden's a good. He has a high motor. He has a high IQ, and he's going to be a great player in college as well. But I'm proud of the way he let the game come to him tonight.
I've kind of always been a proponent, and I've said this, that you don't necessarily have to play a tough schedule, but it's starting to look really, there are teams that have done it. It's starting to really look like what you planned on is really working out, because that's a good team.
Yeah.
And you were up by 24, 25 points there in the second half. Is this a result of playing those tough teams earlier in the year, seeing competition? You wouldn't see that competition here.
No, the only thing I want to do is be right, and everybody tell me I'm right, and I'm joking. I know
No,
that.
it is looking like
I know basketball. I know my guys. I know anybody can look and play. Coach from the bleachers. I know what hurt us last year. I know where we lacked. I know where we are. Our deficiencies were. I knew where we were great at, and I knew what we need to work on. And I really pushed that in the off season. And just like I'm already creating for next year's team. Already. And but I feel like getting pushed. I even said it at halftime to my coaches. I said, guys, the officials, they were calling a lot of fouls. It wasn't one-sided. It wasn't like, okay, Shady is getting all the calls. It wasn't like they called it in a closer game. We have to be able to adapt to that. We have to, and we want to be put in those positions just like we were put in Florida, just like we were put in Morgantown, just like we were put in James Monroe. All those teams have pushed us and made us better. And it's not cliche. It is truly something that we have worked on, and I feel like we are true battle tested is a real thing. It really is, and we're going to be battle tested. And the most thing is we're going to be ready for a lot of different scenarios that you wouldn't be if you weren't pushed. And I think that is where you're really going to see us be a little more fluent when we go down to Charleston this year. If we make it to Charleston, when we make it to Charleston.
Man, well, outside of after even with what Braden was doing, I mean, obviously, the kid's not going to score everyone. You had a streak where Jack Williams is some big shots for you. Cole always does, and then you talked about Amar's third quarter, which was just huge. Yeah. I mean, we talked last time about your problems scoring. You thought you would get some of that worked out. I think tonight, and they're not a team that makes a lot of turnovers because they're a veteran team.
Yeah.
But I think the scoring is starting to come around. Huh?
It is, and that's something that we pushed. I mean, hard in practice to the point. And we've had some injuries. We had some guys had some ailments. The schedule we played and the tons of games we played in a row. We have guys with hamstrings are tight, ankles are sore, backs are sore. I'm not. I'm big on, hey, you're going to practice or we're not going to play. But I've took a step back a little bit this year, and we've worked a lot of half-court stuff where we usually don't, because everything we do is all out all the time in practice. It is go, 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 go. But there's some things that I like where we're at right now, and there's some things that we really got to work on, and that's the half-court offense and shooting. Jackie came in and played big. I mean, I knew he was going to come. Once his injury came, and, Sam played good minutes for us. Gavin's going to play good minutes for us. You look all the way down the bench to Kai, to Jalen, to Brady. Those guys, like I said, I still don't have the bench worked out, but I'm proud of the guys that were role players tonight and stepped up big, because they did. And heck, if you get that every night, we're going to be tough to beat.
I always ask, surprised by what the final scoreboard said?
I mean, yeah, I am. I mean, I know what my guys can do, but I feel like we should win every game we play and dominate every game we play. It's not always the case. We felt like we should dominate and win versus James Monroe, but they're a heck of a team, right? This is a heck of a team. We're not going to go down there and beat them by 20 at Greenbrier East. Probably if we do, great. But you have to expect that as a coach. You have to expect that as a team. You have to expect that you're going to go out and beat teams and keep the pedal, down. And we did, and we shot great. And that's what happens when you shoot well, the way we play defense and the way we push the ball. So they're a great team. I have the utmost respect for Coach Patton. Adam Seams is one of my favorite players. I've always bragged on him. He's one of the toughest outs. He's a great kid. I mean, that kid's going to be successful in whatever he does. But I'm rooting for those guys. They're class act, and they're good kids.
Last time you saw a player as hot as Braden was first half, when was it?
Maybe Braden. Maybe Braden when we played down at Poca. He probably, I think when he played McNeely down at West Virginia State, I think he had 30 or something like that. He got hot there. And then Tommy had a big game. Was it Woodrow? I think he had 30 or something. When the first time we beat him, Tommy Williams that's the last time I've seen it. So Braden, and then I had to say Tommy Williams, because Tommy's the man.
Right. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Yep.